Welcome. I'm going to show you today how to set up OpenVPN on a pfSense firewall. So that's pretty exciting. All right, here we go. The first thing we need to think about is, one, where are we? Where are we means what network are we on? So right now our private IP address range here is this 192.168.1. and we just say X. So anything that's 192.168.1 is part of the internal network. In order to really get the VPN working right, I need to use, or it's best to use, an adjacent network. So that means, since I'm using 192.168.1, I need to put in a network range that actually enables me to have them like right next to each other. I'm not going to tell you how to do that because this is not a subnetting class. But what I'm going to end up using is, whenever you have an odd number like this .1, if you have to go down one to the even number in order to be like adjoining. I would go up one if this was like a .2. I'd go at 2.3 would be adjoining, or 2.2 and .3 would be adjoining. In this case, again, it's .0 and .1 are adjoining. So I do need to know that before I start. Yes. All right, next step. We need to add OpenVPN to this. So that is a, where are we at here? No, it's actually in here, isn't it? Go to VPN, and I go to OpenVPN. It's already kind of built in. Who wouldn't thought? Okay, so there it is under VPN. I want OpenVPN again. By the way, there is another VPN that's actually better, and I'm not going to talk about it right now. It'll show up in the list in a minute, but this one is fine. OpenVPN works okay for now. We need to hit wizards, and for wizards, there's a lot to set up on a VPN. So the first thing we're going to do here is decide where the users are going to be authenticated. Notice here it says if and sure leave this set to local user access. Our users are going to be listed, and all the information about them is going to be located on this pfSense. That's what local user access means. The other options here are where I could have the user information stored on another server. And that's cool if I'm, for example, in a Windows domain, I could have them log in using their Windows credentials. We are doing local user access. So this is just a simple setup, but it totally works, and it's, I don't know, if you're doing this for your home network, that would be great. All right, I hit next, and now I need to create what's called a certificate authority. The certificate authority is because everybody in our OpenVPN, like all of our users, have to have a certificate, and in order to have a certificate properly configured, you need a certificate authority. So I'm going to call this, what am I going to call this? OpenVPN local user access, and I'm just putting CA. So I'm calling it OpenVPN because this is the OpenVPN option. Local user access is how the people are logging in, and CA just stands for new certificate authority. I'm okay leaving all this the same for now. 248 bits, good. You kind of should put in stuff here, like in a real CA, but I'm not going to. I am going to hit add. I think I might have to put common name here. I'm just going to check. Nope, it worked okay. All right, now we need to choose a server certificate, and this is fine. I can hit, or no, I don't. I actually want to add a new certificate. I'm going to add a new certificate, and I want to use the GUI default. Here, I'm going to put a host name here. So here, I'm just doing this. This is kind of for my students. So, what did I do here? Oh, that's all right. 3880.com. A lot of times you'll put the domain name here. This is actually the name of my class. So that's very exciting there. We're going to make a new server certificate. I'm also, notice here we have common name and everything else. And this one, is this the one I have to have a common name on? No, all right, that's fine. All right, then I need to name the server information. So what am I using this server for? And in this case, we're being very specifically doing this for remote file server access. All right, it might just be remote user access, this sort of thing. We notice there the remote technical staff. That's fine too. So remote file server access. Now I need to scroll down here. We are going to use UDP on IPv4. It's going to come in on the WAN interface with this port number. I'm cool with this stuff here. This stuff is also cool. I'm just scrolling down here. I do need this part. This has to be put in. And this is that number I just came up with, 192.168.0.0. And I'm going to put a /24 here, because what that would be is it's going to start every 192.168.0, and then it would be .1, .2, .3, .4. Again, you don't really need to necessarily do that. This is definitely an option here. If you say force all client-generated traffic through the tunnel, if I was doing this at my own house and I was really like interested in privacy, this is the button you check. For our purposes though, I'm not going to check it because I don't feel like doing it. The next thing is here, I'm going to put the local network. So this is the 192.168.1.0/24. So this is the network we're attaching to. I can change the number of concurrent connections. I don't care about this. It's most of this stuff is okay. Sometimes you want something on here. This is kind of a funny thing, but this will actually just show up in the, it shows up in the client stuff, but you don't really need to worry about it. And then I do want to have an IP address. These numbers come in. This is basically the client auto configuration. Let me just double check. We're 192.168.1.1. Yes. The pfSense on this network is the DNS server. So that's when someone connects via the VPN, they'll use the pfSense for their DNS. So I think that's pretty good. You know, there's time servers and NetBIOS and all that other stuff. This should work okay though. I'm gonna hit next. The firewall rule, I do want to check this box. Add a rule to permit connections from clients anywhere on the internet. I'm going to go ahead and check that box. And then this, we're also actually going to check the box too. So this box here makes it so if someone is connected as a VPN client, that all their traffic is allowed in. So I'm going to hit next. And we're done there. So that's pretty exciting. All right, this has set up the server itself. Okay, so we are under VPN. I'm just going to click it again to just show you. When I click OpenVPN now, it's not empty anymore. It has this server for us. Clients we're going to get to in a little bit. And we don't need wizards. Oops, dang it. I don't want to do that. Go back to VPN, OpenVPN. I'm done here, so I can just leave this here. But what we need to do now is do a user. So I'm going to go here, and we're going to go into System. And we need to go into User Manager. This is where the users are. You can see here, this is our user. That's the admin user. By the way, there are groups on here, and we talked about like using group-based authentication in another exercise, but I'm just going to add a user right now because this is fun. I'm going to give them a username, and for this user, I'm just going to call them test. I would, if I was one of my students, probably use like one of the names we used before, because if you keep using the same exact thing that I show in the video in your assignment, it makes you look like you're not actually doing it, and it might be that you just did a screenshot of the video, and that is really not cool, or not. That's a terrible thing for me to think. You are just screenshotting from my videos and submitting it as if you did it. So there I've done a username, I did a password, and I verified the password. I scroll down here. I do want to check this box here. And for the username, I'm just going to call this tests cert. Okay, so this is the, I don't know, there's probably a better way to name this, but this is going to be installed in the OpenVPN. This is our certificate authority, so they'll issue it, and this is just a way for me to keep track of it. I wonder if I need to put tests. All right, we'll try a semi quote, but I don't like putting quotes and stuff. I'll just leave that there. And now we're going to, oh, that's what I do. Oh, this is what I like. Oh, I remember what I do. I'm going to put test.cis3880.com. That's a nice way to name it, and that way you know, like, hey, this is the test person in cis3880.com. All right, I think we're good here. And I'm going to hit save. Now there's stuff around, actually. It's kind of crazy. Let me just show you under, if I go under system, there's a certificate manager. Is that in here? Go under certificates. And then we go under certificates here. Yeah, there they are. All right, so like there's test, it's a user cert. This GUI one was already in use, and there's the OpenVPN server cert. So what's going to happen is the test user needs their cert in order to validate that they're the correct user. So what we need to do now is go, by the way, I could delete this and add it and link it to clients. And there's other stuff you can do in here, but we aren't going to get into it too much. I do need to, we're going to install the clients, and the client is going to be, we're going to connect on our Azure machine in just a minute. But you have to actually install a package manager that will give you the OpenVPN clients. So I'm going to type in here OpenVPN and hit search. And here you'll notice there's OpenVPN client export. And here's WireGuard. This is a different VPN. It's faster and it's kind of better. We don't use it in my class because we're using OpenVPN right now. There was a rumor a little while back, and I haven't actually checked in on it recently, that the pfSense WireGuard was kind of messed up, and so actually that's why I don't use it in my class right now, but someone can update me if I need to start using it. All right, so OpenVPN, I'm going to install this one. We already did this kind of an action before. We're just waiting for it to sort of update. It's going to give me a red bar, and then it's going to change to green, and then we're done. It's like it's done now. And the fun thing about this is we can now go to VPN, OpenVPN, and this is an extra tab that just appeared. Remember it was Wizards before. Now here's client export, and here is some stuff. We can configure stuff here too. We're not going to deal with it though right now. Certificate export, all this stuff here. And what I want to do is actually, I'm just going to grab this test user. So this is a client for the test user. And this is, it seems a little clunky to me for dealing with if you had a lot of users. So I'm sure as someone that was doing a proper VPN, they would probably do something else. All right, I want the current Windows installer. I'm going to download the 64-bit version. What I'm going to do though is it needs to be given to this other person. So I'm actually going to right click this. Am I going to right click this? Why isn't it wanting me to do that? I'm just going to download it then. I'm going to download this and save it. And then I'm going to put it on my web page. Let me tell you this right now. Windows does not like downloading executable files. So I'm actually going to zip this. Can't I zip this? Where do I need to zip this? I need to zip this. Stop that. Don't you want to do this? Let me go into 7-zip. I think I've got 7-zip on here, don't I? Oops, hold on. 7-zip. Do I not have 7-zip on here? All right, well, not worry about that. We'll try the old other trick. All right, one other trick here, this is a really terrible one though, is we're just gonna hit rename, and I'm gonna, instead of having it say exe, I'm gonna change it to zip, and then I'm gonna let that be okay. I'm actually gonna move this to the www root. So I'm moving this into my www root folder, is because I want to download it, and here I actually don't want to do, I don't want to have to type in that whole thing. So I'm going to call this like test user. Let's call it test user. Yeah. All right, so we got test user.zip. Now I'm going to go over here and open in my Azure machine. I'm going to go to that 192. I'm going to do /test user.zip and hit enter. And now, is it done? It will absolutely freak out, by the way, trying to get this to go. So let's see what's going on here. Why isn't it working? Did it work? It looks like it worked. Hooray! Okay, so I can just unpack it now, which is nice. If I do a 7-zip and just, I can actually just extract here is fine. And it's opening. It looks okay. Is that finished? Yes. So this is the thing. Right? Where am I at here? Oh, it installed it all here. Let me run this one. And what I could do, let me just try this. I'm going to rename this back. Tell me when you did this. exe. Oops. Okay. I think I just want to run that because I think I don't want these two files. So I'm just going to get them done. Let me just delete this. All right, I'm going to testuser.exe. This is just an installer of the OpenVPN client. Oh, damn it. I'm gonna run it anyway. Punks. All right, here's the thing. Setup type, like you kind of have to watch this because this actually happens in 2 phases. So I'm gonna hit install now. And just be like watching for another installer to run because you may have to deal with that. Okay, so I'm gonna hit close here, and there is, yeah, another installer gonna open up. This one is probably the one. So notice I'm going back here. This is the installer of the configuration. So this is the actual user configuration. The other part was installing the application. Somehow it goes in a weird way, but that's fine. Now I can open this up and that actually doesn't matter because it's actually here. It's in the tray. Let me go into the tray. Stop that. I'm going to hit escape. It doesn't want to hit escape. This is in the tray. So I hit open hidden icons and it's right here. And I can right click here and hit connect. That's kind of fun. Or I can click on it, maybe. It doesn't want to. I'm going to hit connect here. Now I have to hit my user. And of course, if you're my student, I hope you didn't pick test because I'm going to be annoyed that you keep picking the same username I do. And then that makes me wonder whether you're using just screenshots from the video. And that is a bad idea. All right, so I typed in the username and password, and now we're connected. Or maybe. Are we connected? Yes. Now here's the fun part of this. To prove it works, I go into here, and it's for file sharing. So if I right-click on Network now and hit Map Network Drive, I can actually map to 192.168.1.2 /CIS. I better be able to map to it. Oh, so I forgot to hit different credentials. Okay, and the username, I'm just going to put administrator. Oops, administrator. And the password I've been using. All right, so I'm doing this one more time because I actually put in the wrong password. Isn't that funny how that works? So again, I'm going to do the different credentials. The CIS, and I'm going to map it. It's administrator. Oops, TOR. Get the right password, man. Hit admin. Good grief, has to be everything right, doesn't it? Hit OK. And now see we're connected in.